Hello friends, welcome to my channel Whiteboard Machine Learning. So in this tutorial we see the basics of neural network. Basics of neural network. To understand the basics of neural network, we will first see what is a biological neuron. What is biological neuron? And secondly, we see what is a perceptron model. And finally, we see something called as multi-layer perceptron model. Okay. So in this particular video, we see what is a biological neuron and perceptron model. Okay, to start with, what is a biological neuron? We know that in our brains, there are millions and billions of neurons. Neurons are responsible for memorizing the things and passing information from one neuron to another neuron. Response to stimuli are all the responsibilities of your neuron. If you go to the Wikipedia page, you can see this particular picture here where you see how basically the neurons are having the structure. Okay, if you just observe this one image, you can see that the neuron is basically having the nucleus, and there are so many other parts of this neuron, which is dendrites, dendritic branches, Golgi apparatus, and axon hillock, axon, and then telodendria, synaptic terminals, and connecting to some other neurons. What is basically happening here? The input is going to the neuron cell, and then neuron is producing the output. The same kind of concept we'll be using in our artificial neural network. We tried building the artificial neural network considering the concept of biological neurons. We can consider this dendroid as an input and then axon as an output from the neuron. And then subsequently, one neuron connects to every other neuron. So if you just observe the stained neuron of your brain, it looks something like this, right? So you can observe this particular image, how the neurons are connected to every other neurons. This is typically the neuron that you see, okay, uh, in your brains, right? Now we make use of this concept and we try to build our artificial neural network now. Now I'll go back to my window, okay, whiteboard, and I'll say that keeping this as a biological neuron as a basis, we start building something called as a perceptron here. Remember guys, perceptron is nothing but the neurons only. Okay, how does a perceptron look like? Let us try to discuss that. I'll clear the frame now. A perceptron is nothing but a single neuron. The perceptron will take some input, okay, let's say that input as x, and then it is also taking a constant term called bias. I'll say that as b in this case, okay, nothing but the bias term, constant, and it produces output which is y in this case. All right, remember guys, the bias is a constant and that will be initialized to some random value. Let us imagine that the bias value is 90 in this case, and then the input x is given to this particular neuron, and this particular edge will have some weights, okay, that will give us the strength of the neural network. I simply assign some weights here. Let's say that w is equal to 2.5, okay, 2.5 in this case. Now what we need to do when we have the bias and the weights here assigned randomly to the neural or neural network, now we go ahead and start doing some calculations inside this neuron. Let me say that it is basically a simple summations you're doing. Now just to take a real world example, let us say that you are actually eating some chocolates, okay, let's say that you eat some chocolates. I'll say that you'll eat some chocolates, that is going to be your x, okay, and then the weight is 2.5, the random weight, and then the bias is basically 90 in this case, and then you want to know what is the calories after eating the chocolates you will get. Okay, I'll simply say that as calories. That is going to be your y. Now just to map this, for the chocolate, what I'll do, I simply take chocolate, the grams is 5 grams. So if you eat 5 grams of chocolate, so what is the calories you will get? That is what I want to compute now. Remember guys, I'll be using the bias, which is a constant, and the weight, which is saying the strength of this particular uh, edge here. Okay, now W is equal to 2.5, and then we perform some mathematical operations. Simply what we can do, we can simply say that y, okay, y is nothing but the calories. Y is equal to x into W, okay, x into W plus B, which is your bias. Okay, if you just observe this particular equation, the equation looks exactly like your straight line equation. Y is equal to mx plus b. So we know that the straight line equation is y is equal to mx plus b. It means that this particular neuron is basically giving us the linear relationship between the x and y. Okay, now we can actually simply replace this x with 5 into the weight is nothing but 2.5 plus the bias is basically the 90 in this case. And finally, you'll get around 102.5 as the calories when you eat 5 grams of chocolate in this case. Alright, now observing this equation, this is typically the straight line equations. Remember guys, in the real world, your data is not always linear in nature. You cannot always say that, okay, there is x, there is a y, and there is always a linear relationship. As s increases, y is also increasing, and x decreases, y is also decreasing. So this is not always true in the real world, because there is always some non-linearity in the data. You should always show something called as non-linearity in your data. If you just observe this particular equation, the particular equation is giving us the linear relationship, nothing but the straight line. Sometimes your data might look something like this. I'll simply try to erase this particular graph here. Sometimes your data looks like this, right? It could be something like this, which is like this and like this. This is typically giving us what? The non-linear relationship between your x and y. This is not always the case, but you should also show the non-linearity in your data. How do you show the non-linearity data? You can actually show the non-linearity in your data by including one of the important concepts called as activation functions. Activation functions are responsible to show the non-linearity in your data. Okay, now where do I include this activation function? Activation functions are always used within a neuron. I simply put a line here. Okay, let me try to rewrite this once again. Let's say that you have a neuron, something like this, and then this is typically you're doing some mathematical calculations here, and I put a bar here saying that, and you are trying to include something called as activation functions. Okay, activation functions are the functions which helps us to show the non-linearity in your data. And in future, we'll discuss some of the important activation functions available in the machine learning or deep learning concepts. Alright, so this is typically called as the perceptron model. A single neuron is taken as the perceptron model. The perceptron model will have the inputs, which is basically x in this case, and then the weight for this particular edge, which will give us the strength of this particular edge in this case, right? And then there is always a constant, okay, so that is basically the bias, and then the output, which is y in this case. You can certainly include as many inputs as you want here. In this example, I've taken only one input. You can simply say that x1, x2, x3 dot 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 xn in this case. All right, that is basically what the inputs of your neurons in this case. When I start connecting all these neurons, then it has to become something called as a network. That we're going to explore in the next video. Till then, take care. If you like this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye.